We should be live.
We are. Hello and welcome to Hump Day Hangout 458 on the 23rd of August, 2023. So time flies. Summer is almost over here in Europe. So yeah, that's why I actually left to South America. So quite a good week so far here. Lots of work as usual. And Adam, I think, is somewhere out in Australia as well, enjoying the winter time there as well.
Did he go to Australia?
I think so.
I didn't
or is this later?
I don't know. I just know he's not here. I didn't know he was in Australia though. Jesus.
Well, worst, I think he said he's in Australia. Worst case, he's running in the woods somewhere. Whatever. He's not here.
Right on.
Anyways, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Interestingly enough, we have no questions today. So
all right.
So guys, we're here. Maybe now we'll get to engage with some of the chat. Because people have been engaging in chat a lot, and sometimes I don't even get a chance to look at those. So maybe today we will have the time to do that.
Did you update the link?
I did.
Sweet, that was quick.
I'm not seeing the chat box though. Hold on a minute. Let me see.
Anyways, before we jump into all those things, it's a month till our live event, Topical Live. I can't believe
5 weeks.
That's 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Time flies, man.
Don't cut the time down, man.
Okay. Got lots of speakers there. Also a really good VIP event in a bowling alley where the secrets are usually exchanged. So if you've ever been to one of our Topical live events, one of those special VIP days, where people are having fun, networking with each other and spilling some beans as well and exchanging insider information and stuff. So usually that's when there are big changes happening, in each SEO agencies right after. So I always enjoy those talks as well. What about you, Bradley?
I'm chatting in the group, so I didn't hear you. What was the question? I'm sorry.
All right. You're enjoying the VIP shenanigans and sharing of secrets and special ideas and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's working for everyone.
We always enjoy that. The VIP event's fun because, it's not just about we go to have a good time, but throughout that process, you end up sharing a lot of stuff anyway. And, people end up becoming a little bit more open. And so, yeah, it's a good flow of information for sure. And on some years we've done VIP events that included alcohol, and I'm sure we will this time too. I don't really drink anymore, but perhaps I might have a drink or two during that event, just so because it tends to loosen me up a bit too. But we usually have a really good time for that. Even when we did it virtually for the last 3 years, we ended up having a really good time with that. And it's gone 4 or 5 hours before the VIP event, even virtually, via Zoom, just because we had really good discussion and everything else. So it's definitely worth it. I'm sure everybody's heard this before, but the networking events aren't just about the training that you get. It's really about the networking. That's where businesses and joint ventures and partnerships and things like that are really kind of born in those types of events. Relationships are created or cultivated, begin at those types of events, which can lead to massive breakthroughs in your business or a whole new business being created and everything else. And again, that's how my partners and I met. It wasn't through an actual live event, but it was through a forum or a mastermind, very similar to what we always pitch about our mastermind. So I would encourage you guys definitely to check it out. We don't make it super expensive, so you just got to travel to get there, but it's worth it. So
definitely. There's also another thing, if you're going to have to Topical Live, you're basically getting first experience, first-hand information on Bradley's new agency model.
Yeah.
So you will definitely have a really good presentation there. That alone is worth it, 10 times worth it, than you're actually paying for, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I was talking about it on Twitch today. I got still trying to get the high level component worked out. I've been at it for almost a month now, and I'm close. I'm very close. We made a lot of progress. I made a lot of changes yesterday, and got with the company that I hired from England. Excuse me. It's called Leadbyte. They have their own custom application that connects with high level that allows a lot of data sharing between sub accounts and everything else. It's really cool. It's the only thing that I found that can do what I needed it to do. And through the process of working with that company, trying to get this custom integration configured properly, it's evolved from what my original kind of thought was on how I wanted it to work. And that's just because of the restrictions or the constraints of the platforms. So it has evolved a bit, but it's coming along. I made some pretty good headway with it yesterday, and it'll probably be Friday before I get back on it again. But I'm hoping to have it done by by this time next week, have it ready. So we're getting close, man. I'm down to the wire because I know we're about 5 weeks away, and I really want to kind of reveal all this shit on during the live event. And so I really hope to have it all done by then. I'm trying my damnedest. So
nice. Cool. Let's jump into questions, right?
Yeah, we don't have any questions today. So guys, I'm going to chat when we can chat, and I see some of you are already chatty, but you guys have anything you want to talk about specifically, we can. Otherwise, we can chat for a few minutes and then I'll wrap it up. I got too damn much work to do to just sit here and shoot the shit for nothing. So let's see. David's here. Will, what's up, David? Michael,
See ya.
Nigel, and Selma. What's up, buddy? Cecilia, yeah, of course, as usual. No questions.
Yeah, no questions
Cecilia.
today. Yeah, like
I don't know how that's possible. I really don't. I even double checked. I went and submitted a form or question myself today just to make sure it went into the form, and it did. I don't know how we go a whole fucking week without a single question, but it is what it is.
There we go, land flipping. Yeah.
Of course. Well, sure, I could talk about that briefly. I had a property under contract in Southwestern Virginia, which is near my favorite trail system. And I just went not last week, but the week before to go view it with I meet a soil engineer there, and unfortunately it's going to be inaccessible. It's going to require tens of thousands of dollars to get a road cut into the property through someone else's property. So it's just not worth it. And so I had to let that go, which sucks. But now I'm going to have to fire up. I'm looking to buy property right now, just so you know, in the United States, our currency is tanking, inflation and everything else. And I'm just really concerned. So I took all of my retirement fund money that I've been saving for many years now, and I transferred it into what's called a self-directed IRA. So now I can buy real estate with my retirement fund. And so that's what I'm doing now, is like, that's what I'm trying to do, is purchase property to get all my money out of, because I've already liquidated all my mutual funds and bonds and all that stocks and all that shit. Because I think, like, I've seen my own investment kind of portfolio dwindle over the last 3 years so significantly that I just said, fuck this. I'm taking all my money out of cash and putting it somewhere else. So right now it's in just cash, but it's in a self-directed LLC. And so I need to buy something with it. Like, I'm trying to put it into some real estate so that it stops losing value, because it's currently just losing value. So anyway, why did I bring that up? Because Cecilia mentioned land flipping, and I've got to fire back up my direct mail machine for land flip to start sending letters to vacant landowners to try to buy property so that I can put my money somewhere instead of it just sitting in a fucking bank losing value right now like it is. So I'm really anxious to try to get this money put into a property. And I also just found out that I can also buy precious metals with that IRA now too. So now my monthly contributions are just going directly to purchase gold, platinum, silver, things like that. Because again, I think currency is just tanking in the United States, and I can feel like it's going to continue to get worse. But I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm talking about money, just so you all understand that. So anyway, I'm going to be
like real money.
I'm going to be
paper money.
Firing up the whole land flipping, like, lead gen funnel again, which is just direct mail, sending people to Answer Connect to if they call, or to my ClickFunnels landing page to fill out the property information worksheet. And I'm probably going to be working on that this weekend. So I might even be mailing as early as next week. So, hey, for Hump Day Hangouts, people seem to be interested in that. So maybe I'll give you updates as I start sending out letters and start getting calls coming in and leads coming in. I'm going to fire that back up. I actually thought about even creating like a separate, like, little 1 hour per week group for anybody else that's interested in land flipping, where we just get together and talk about it, if I'm going to be doing it. But because I know some people were interested in it. So I don't know if there's enough interest in that, I might do it. So just kind of a land flipping mastermind, free one, just something easy. Anyway. Okay. So do we have any questions, guys? Let's see what else.
I don't see any.
If not, let's just wrap it up. I got too much damn work to do.
Were your land flipping projects so local? Of course they were local.
He said it's like like during COVID when we reached the end of Netflix. Yeah. The Appalachian Trail, Michael? No, it's well, it's in the Appalachian. It's that whole kind of mountain range, but I was talking about this. It's called Buchanan County. There's a town there called Grundy, Virginia. There's this trail system down there that I really like. I really love that area. So I go there probably 4 or 5 times a year for the last 6 or 7 years. So I'm just going to buy property down there. Were all your land flipping projects all local? Yeah, well, they were all within Virginia. I flipped one property in West Virginia, but all the other ones were in Virginia. They weren't really local. Some of them were local, but I mean, with land flipping, like I said, guys, it's best to, and you figure this out through trial and error first. But once you find a good area that produces well when you send out letters, plus the data is easy to come by because every county is different, and so like. Some counties, the data for property records, tax records, and all that stuff is easily accessible, and others it's very difficult to access. So what I've done is like I just would start mailing different counties, maybe 1,000 letters per county, right? Something like that, and then field those leads that would come in, and then through that process, determine how easy it was to work within that county. And then I would kind of narrow it down over time to just a select a handful of counties that I would farm. And what I mean by farm is you would mail to those over and over again, like once every, I would either do it either 2 or 3 times a year. So either every 6 months or every 4 months, I would send another letter. Because every time you send another back to the same list, you'd end up getting some new leads coming in, or sometimes, and a lot of the times, interestingly enough, I found that over the 2 years that I did this, that I, towards the last part of the last, towards the end, when I kind of was starting to wind things down, some of the leads that I got in that people asking for offers were people that I had sent letters to like 5 or 6 times. And they just finally said, yeah, we keep getting your letters, and decided, yeah, let's find out what you have to offer. So it was interesting to see that. It's the same thing that we talk about when we prospect for agency clients, for SEO and marketing services, et cetera. It's that multiple touch points, right?
Yeah, because it shows you're serious.
Yeah. And not only that, but it shows that you're not, that you're there for the long haul. You're not just, a fly by night operation. If they get a letter every 4 months or every 6 months or every quarter, every 3 months, whatever, and then for 2 years, like, it starts to become what a brand recognition, right? They start to recognize the brand. They start to say, oh, this company must be doing pretty good, blah, blah, blah.
Those guys again.
It's the exact same thing when we talk about prospecting for agency clients, guys. It's the multiple touch points. Don't one and done it, because if you one and done it, you miss out on so much opportunity, So it's the same thing. I know a couple of guys getting into finding the properties for it, or funding. Cecilia. Finders. Okay. Yeah. There's that's wholesaling, or bird dogging is another term for that. Bird dogging is finding the good properties, and then usually a wholesaler is the next level up. A wholesaler is the one that gets the property under contract and then sells the contract, right? And that's what I preferred to do. What's your best guess? The landscape, no pun intended, has certainly changed since you last did this. Do you think you'd adopt or do things differently for land flipping? You said finding. I thought so, Cecilia. No, would I do anything different? No. No, direct mail is the best way, in my opinion, to generate leads for that business. Way better than SEO or Google Ads, just because those leads that come in through Google Ads or SEO are so random. When you farm an area, or you select a particular county and you just target that, like, all the leads that come in, they're all in the same location, the same county. So you very quickly, when you are processing leads from a particular county, you start to become familiar with the property values in that county. Again, how to access the data, all of that. It's so much more efficient processing the leads when they're all come in from one set county, or a handful of counties, than just a random lead from here and there, like, from just anywhere in the state or country or whatever. That makes it a lot. It's the same thing I talk about niching down with your agency, right? If you zero in on one freaking industry, then it becomes so much easier to scale. It's the same thing with real estate. If you're trying to generate leads from too many areas, It's an enormous amount of work to process all that data. But if you generate a whole bunch of leads from one area, it becomes so much more efficient to scale your operation because everything becomes easier. It becomes, you can again systematize it and all that. So it's the same kind of process.
By the way, we got 2 SEO questions. Let's jump to them.
Good. Would you recommend using paid listings from sites with high topical trust flow to increase the topical trust flow of topical blogs? I mean, sure, Anselmo, you could try that. I mean, there's paid listings are good. And I mean, there's some that I would use. But yeah, you could try it. Absolutely. Why not? It depends on what the cost is, you know. Toby, what's up, Toby? Sorry if you already mentioned this, but is Google removing reviews as fast as Yelp? Well, sometimes, yeah. I noticed that too. I know what you're talking about. Reviews are, I mean, even real valid reviews get taken down. It's, I don't know. It is what it is. We can't do anything about it, Toby, but I don't know about as fast as Yelp. Yelp is notorious for just being real shitty about that. But Google, occasionally they'll go through kind of spurts or phases where they take a bunch of reviews down. I've seen that a lot. I don't know about it being as aggressive as Yelp though. Will Scott says, would you talk about a little about trust flow and how it relates to linking domain versus the linking content? I'm not sure I understand the question, Will. No, David. David says, could you see yourself doing land flipping and perhaps selling a directory listing for realtors for your buyers? No, that's not the business I want to be in. And realtors, no offense, Toby. No offense, Toby, but most realtors are cheap. They don't want to spend money on marketing unless they're really successful. And by the way, isn't that an indication of why they're successful? Because they're willing to spend money on marketing. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, but a lot of people think realtors have a lot of money, but they don't. I found it. And again, no offense, Toby. I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, I found after being in the real estate industry for many years, 2 years for land and almost 5 years for houses, that a lot of realtors are broke. And that's why they don't spend money on marketing. The ones that are successful do spend money on marketing, and maybe they're successful because they spend money on marketing. But anyway, so no, that's not the business I want to be in. I don't want to work with realtors. And again, no offense to any realtors here. I feel like if a realtor knows what a realtor really wants to make money, they'll be on the kind of flipping side, the quick turn side of real estate instead of the like the agent side of it, if that makes sense. Anyway. All right, next. Will says, is trust flow category from the linking domain more page level or domain level? It's really domain level. It's more of a domain level, Will. That's a great question, by the way. So now that I understand what you're asking, I can give you a better answer. So it's more like, so trust flow is an aggregate of all the trust flow that is flowing into a domain. So topical trust flow, trust flow and topical trust flow is an aggregate of all of the trust flow flowing into the domain. So that's why when you look at the root domain level, you're looking at kind of like the overall trust flow of the domain itself, not a particular page. If you go into Majestic and you look at the URL instead of the root domain, then it changes. You're looking at only the trust flow of that particular URL. Hopefully that's clear. So it's more kind of a domain thing. And Will, that's why if you have a domain that has a topical trust flow and not a relevant category, and the only way to overcome that, it can be overcome quite easily, but the way to do it is to get one link with a trust flow value higher than the highest trust flow value link in the category that you need it to be. So in other words, let's say it's a tree service contractor site. Business, construction, and maintenance is the primary topical trust flow category, or it could be business, agriculture, and forestry, or home/gardening, whatever. Those are the three most relevant topical trust flow categories. But let's just say that it has the most the primary topical trust flow, or the most prominent topical trust flow category of the tree service company's domain is society/law, because an attorney linked to their blogs saying thank you for removing a tree from a parking lot, right? From their parking lot, whatever. So now they got a link that's a trust flow 27 that's in the society/law topical trust flow category. And all their other links that might be in business, construction and maintenance, business, agriculture and forestry, home/gardening, all the relevant links have lower values than trust flow 27. Then the only way so that means the society/law will be the most prominent topical trust flow category on that domain until they get, there will be a split, by the way. There will be also other topical categories showing, but the bulk of the top percentage of the topical trust flow would be in society/law. So then the only way to overcome that is to just get a trust flow 28 link in one of the more appropriate categories. That's all it takes, is just getting trust flow link in the appropriate category, just a one point value higher, one trust flow point value higher, just in the right category, and that'll skew it or change it to the appropriate category, if that makes sense. It doesn't remove the topical trust flow from the other category, but that doesn't matter. In my opinion, it doesn't matter, especially if it's getting a link from, like I mentioned in this hypothetical example, a local attorney linking to a tree service site, thanking them, in a thank you post on their blog. That is still a valuable link. I don't care if it's not in the appropriate topical trust flow category. It's a local business linking to the site, if that makes sense. What I try to explain with semantic links is, if you're trying to rank in maps, and I've talked about this many times, but local links with geographic relevance or local relevance have more in effect. But if you look at the top ranked competitors in the organic section for anything that's really competitive, generally, it's not always, but generally, if you average out, if you look at the top 5 ranked competitors and you look at their backlink profiles and their topical trust flow categories and everything else, in the more competitive markets, you're going to see that those that are ranked at the top have relevant link profiles. Again, it's not always the case, but the vast majority, more often than not, you see relevant link profiles ranked at the top of organic. If you look in the map section, though, a lot of the times you don't see that. Like if you analyze their backlink profile, they got shitty backlink, or what appears to be, based on traditional metrics, what appears to be a very poor backlink profile. But if you analyze the backlinks a little bit deeper, most of the times, or a lot of the times, I don't know about most of the times, but a lot of the times you'll notice that a lot of the links that those ranked in the top of the maps pack will have geographic relevance, right? As that's why they can still rank well in maps, even though they have a poor topical relevance, right? Or non-relevant backlink profile, et cetera, because it's at least as far as traditional metrics, right? Hopefully that's clear. Anyway, page relevancy versus domain relevancy. Yeah, it's both important, but you will notice that links coming from, even if the page is really relevant, it's the trust flow coming from that link is going to be skewed into being whatever the primary topical trust flow category is of the domain, if that's clear. So I don't know if that's clear or not. Anyway. And someone said semantic mastery, usually paid listings have pages full of links. Since you said that page metrics are distributed to all links, the value of the backlink would be poor, right? Yeah, I mean, page link equity does, but I'm not sure about how trust flow. Remember, trust flow is just a metric, guys. I don't give a shit. I don't think Google gives a damn about trust flow either. It's just a metric that we use, and I really don't care about trust flow unless it's relevant, right? Does that make sense? So, and I don't know how that changes or anything else. Look, trust flow passes through no follow links. Again, I don't know that that matters to Google at all. I'm just saying we can push trust flow even through no follow links. So that's a metric that, again, I don't know that Google gives a damn about that. So link equity will split across all those links. So what you were asking about specifically paid listings that have traffic, right? Or were you just talking about trust flow? Looks okay, just trust flow. Yeah, then I mean, I wouldn't bother with that because you can get trust flow from other areas that you don't need to worry about. So why pay for a link for that? I would do it if the link had value besides just the trust flow, if that makes sense. Hopefully that's clear, Anselmo, now that I have a little bit more context. Okay, guys, I don't see any other questions. I'm just going to wrap it up. Let's get back to work. Spent almost 30 minutes here. So I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I'm double check, make sure I don't have any questions. And then we'll, yeah, nothing else posted. Okay, guys, back to
Cool.
work. See you guys.
Cheers.
For those of you in the mastermind, we have the Build with Bradley group discussion tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. So see you guys then.
Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.